This is Our Rough Draft, a podcast, real talk for real relationships.
Welcome to Our Rough Draft, where we share real stories from marriage, work, life, and the adventures along the way. We'll laugh, maybe get real, and hopefully help you spark some new conversations in your own life.
I'm Denise, the wild, emotional one who loves words and big ideas.
And I'm Tim. I'm the practical level one who fixes what she dreams of.
And this is Our Rough Draft, where we share the stories we're still living. Hey, welcome to Our Rough Draft.
Welcome to Our Rough Draft.
Where are you?
Where am I? I'm at home in Phoenix. Where are you?
I am in Orlando. I'm in the lobby of the Swan. It's a little bit loud. It's a little bit chaotic. It's Sunday night, Mother's Day. People are wandering around.
Wandering aimlessly or wandering with a purpose?
I think pretty aimlessly at this point. It's 8:30. We should be on the road to Fantasmic if we're going to see it. I'm not going. I'm choosing this over that.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, there's a little...
Is it huge? Is it like a big show?
I mean, it's Fantasmic. I think, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about Disney today a little bit. And we're not really show people. We're ride people when we do Disney. Yep. So I'm going to ask the first question. How do you like to do Disney?
I like to do, if we're talking about Disney World, which is obviously made up of Disney and California Adventure, two different parks. I like to do one park one day and the other park the next day. And then potentially, if there is a third day, float back and forth between the two, figuring out what you might have missed or didn't allow time for. But I don't like jumping back and forth just because it feels chaotic. I just want to know that I'm going to be here today and I'll see those things that I want to see over there tomorrow or whatever. So
yeah, I'm the same. And here there's 4 parks and we set it up as Animal Kingdom the first day. Nope, that's a lie. Epcot the first day, Animal Kingdom, then Magic Kingdom, and then today was Hollywood. And you don't need a full day for each park here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. More. They have all these different shows that you can go to, like the Belle and the Beast show and the Little Mermaid show and the Indiana Jones show and the Avengers show. We're not show people. And so you go to the rides and you can get all the rides kind of knocked out. Ethan looked it up. It's something like 81 rides at Disney and California Adventure and like 60 something here. I know.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's super different. And so we had 2 great meals. My mom thinks the food is better here than in California, but we all agree that Disneyland is our favorite. It just doesn't have quite the same way of doing the park because I guess if you came and you went to your resort and you spent time at your pool and then you went over there and you did a show and you did some of the rides, it'd be fine. But like you can't use your lightning lane on the same ride twice. Like Slinky Dog was a really cool ride, the little roller coaster in Toy Story Land, but you can't use the lightning lane for it twice, so you have to wait in line. And they don't have a lot of single rider lines here. So it's just really not about the rides.
Interesting.
I think the rides are what make it for me at Disneyland.
Yeah. Do you feel like the shows are geared more toward kids or toward, like, not kids as in anybody under the age of 18, but like little kids? Are they at all interesting for adults? Like if we were show people, would we see the shows?
Yeah, I think if we liked shows, we would see the shows. I think it's because of the weather. It sucks here. Like the weather sucks so much. Like I am miserable. It's so hot. It's so humid. Like I like nothing about it. And I haven't even seen an alligator. So I have humid weather and no alligators feels like bullshit.
Yeah, that's like the state is not living up to its promises.
Right.
Did we?
So, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. This is where you would insert the scratching record stop sound. Why are you in Orlando, Florida, Denise, and why aren't you home here with me?
Well,
we didn't even talk about that.
I don't know, but I am.
You don't know why you're there?
It's so hot and gross here. I hate it. So I am on a 5-week road trip with my mother. So I left there last week and I went to New Orleans and I got to see my brother and sister-in-law and the kids. And that was great. And we did a little tour of New Orleans. And then we headed here to do Disney World because Grandma's never done Disney World and she's a Disney person. Going to Disneyland the first year that it opened, she just never had seen it, so she wanted to, and so we came here. And then we're headed up the coast. We're going to go be in Savannah tomorrow, a college tour for Mace, and then Charleston, Wilmington, and then I know. And then we'll be out at the Outer Banks for a few days. And then we'll see Thatcher and Uncle Randy and Auntie Lisa. And then we'll make our way back across. So my mom loves to do road trips. Her and my dad did road trips a ton when the boys were little and would take them with them. And last summer was her first road trip without him. So she gave us her old van and bought a new van and then set out and did Phoenix to New Orleans, flew back to Phoenix, flew back to New Orleans for graduation, and then up to Wisconsin. Then Roseanne met her in Wisconsin and they drove across to Idaho, San Jose, and home. And so she wanted to do the road trip again, and she's going to be 80 this year. And I thought she probably shouldn't be out on the road for, I don't know, something like 9 weeks by herself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she did the San Diego to Wisconsin to New Orleans tour on her own. And I met her in New Orleans and we're going to do, like I just talked about, that little southeast loop. And then we'll head back across, hitting Springfield, Missouri, which is where her mom was from, Kansas City to see the Mariners play the Royals, and then across. And so we'll go to Arches for a couple days, and then we will jump down to Duck Creek, Utah, where you and Mason will meet us. And we'll spend a few days in a cabin there and then finish off the trip to San Diego.
Sounds amazing. Sounds like, to me, based on how you've described the Outer Banks in the past and that map you showed me, it sounds like the Outer Banks is going to be your payoff for spending this time in Florida. So
yeah,
it might be
for
miserable
sure
right now, but it sounds like Outer Banks is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I scheduled it that way so that we would do this first and be dead tired and blisters on our feet, and then go up to Outer Banks and be able to rest and recoup for a few days.
That'll be incredible, especially just being there on the water with no real agenda, nobody to see in the Outer Banks.
Yeah, it'll just be, we have a cute little house, Airbnb that we got right in Buxton, so right there in the middle of the Outer Banks, like where it goes like that, the little L. Right in the middle, so there'll be ice cream at least and ocean on one side and, I don't know, ocean on the other, I guess. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm hopeful that there are no hurricanes that start to exist between now and next week.
Yeah, definitely. That would not be the place to be during a hurricane.
No, that would not be lovely. So so we're here. Mason flew out Thursday night late from you, red eye. I picked him up Friday early so he could go to Disney World with us for a few days and then a college visit up in Savannah tomorrow. So we are meeting a friend of a friend for lunch, and then we have the tour, and then we'll get to spend the day in Savannah just checking it out. And then he flies out of Charleston the next day to come home because he has 2 AP tests that he had to do like before and after, so he can't stay longer.
Yeah, you can't miss those.
And you may wonder where he is tonight.
I've learned not to wonder when he's traveling because he kind of now is, to your point, just self-sufficient and does his own thing. So, but tell me where he is.
Well, last I heard, he had left Hollywood and gone to Epcot to ride a couple of rides. And then he was going to make his way to Magic Kingdom for a few more rides and then come back. And that sounds, for us who are from California or live in Arizona and go to Disneyland, it sounds like it's not a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. Like, it can take 40 minutes between parks. Like, either the bus or the train or the monorail or the SkyTrain or the boat. It took my mom an hour and a half last night to go from Magic Kingdom to Epcot to our hotel because the monorail broke down, and then she had
Oh,
to
no.
like wait for another one, and then she took a wrong turn, and then she ended up back at our hotel. I was watching her on Life 360, and it took an hour and a
Wow.
half. Yeah.
I thought the parks were all connected. I thought that it was just one big property.
It is one giant property, and only certain ones are connected. So like we're staying at the Swan, the Dolphins across the way, and it's connected to Epcot and Hollywood via the water. So you can go on a boat to all of those. Epcot and Magic Kingdom are connected through monorail.
Wow.
Epcot and other places are connected through the SkyTrain. So it's all like super confusing. The buses run everywhere. And so you can jump on a bus and be wherever, but you have to walk to like the bus station, just like you would at Disneyland, like how the buses are out front. You have to walk that whole distance to get there to be able to then ride on the bus to get to the next place. It's a lot.
Wow.
So that's why like your way of doing it, of like staying at one park, is the way to go. But then you're like, but maybe I want to ride that ride again. You don't get to. It's just
You
over.
can't.
No. You just it's dead to you. Interesting things that I've seen here is middle of May. Obviously, it's Mother's Day, and there are not a lot of people out of school yet. So there's a lot of people from other countries speaking other languages, which is always like super awkward on the Jungle Cruise because they're trying to make their like funny jokes and nobody can understand them. So my mom's the only one laughing along. Super awkward.
Your mom would be the only one laughing along, even if everybody on the boat spoke English. Your mom would still be the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. So
favorite part so far?
Not the weather. Can I just keep saying how much I hate the weather? I hate it, Tim. It's miserable. It's horrible. My favorite part so far has been Toys Land at Hollywood. It is as good as Cars Land is for the Toy Story set.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's really cool. And they're building a Monsters, Inc., like with the factory and everything. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that should be cool.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom feels like a really great castle, and then like boxes of rides. Like they boxed up Small World, and they like shrunk it a little, and they shipped it here, and they put it on the street, and there it is. And it's just a box. Like that's the only way I know how to describe it, because it just feels like it's not expansive. It's not very imaginative. It's very much like a boxed ride, and maybe like going to the fair.
It's weird.
It is weird. It feels kind of like a money grab here.
So you don't float through Small World?
You do, but you float through in like a box. Like
just a giant warehouse?
Yes.
I mean, which I guess is what it is anyway.
Warehouse next to warehouse next to warehouse, Small World, Peter Pan, whatever. But then there's no Pinocchio ride. There's no Snow White ride. There's no Mr. Toad's ride. There's just like Peter Pan's the only ride. I mean, they have Dumbo, but I don't know. It's just weird.
Like there's nothing in between the rides?
No.
Weird.
Yeah. There's some cool things, like we ate last night at Beast Castle, and Beast kept coming out, but no, like nothing else was magical, and Belle's house was right there, so I love it, and the architecture's beautiful and all of that, but like, no, it just feels weird. The coolest thing I think so far has been actually eating at that restaurant last night in Beast Castle, and it looks like it's snowing outside, which is really cool.
I noticed that in the video.
So I sent that to you.
Like the windows.
Yeah. So what's cool about that, though, is that it's the actual animation from Beauty and the Beast movie that they're projecting for the snow. So for my like little nerdy Disney heart, that was pretty cool. Yeah. So where's Mason? Mason's out in the world right now. He will be home. I don't know. I think the last part closes at 11 tonight, so he'll make his way here by midnight. And then we're getting up early to leave. So
it's exactly how it was when we took him to Disneyland for his birthday. It was just all about him wandering off, and he would be home at some point.
Yeah, and that's how I love to do Disney. Like I love going out and like just like being in it, like going into the stores, going into the rides, like just like wandering wherever I want to go at any given moment and be like, oh, this looks interesting. Let's go over here. I do like to do it land by land. So here I was trying to be accommodating for hosting, me, Mason, and Mom. And I was like, what ride do you want to go on? Where do you want to go? And they were like, I want to go on this ride. And then I want to go on this ride way over here. So I got like 22,000 steps and 18,000 steps. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like, this is not how you do it. Well, it's like yesterday
You're doing
was
it all
my
wrong.
way. I was like, we enter, we do an area, we complete it, we move on to the next area, we do it, we move on to the next area. I came home in like 10,000 steps. Like, come on, people. There's a way.
There's a better way.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Disney. We talked about how we like to do it, but I want to talk about this idea of like what Mason's doing right now. It was really interesting to me. The first day he was here, he was exhausted, right? He didn't sleep on the plane at all, but he came in and we went to Animal Kingdom. And then he was like, I want to go over to Magic Kingdom, which was what we were going to do the next day. And it was almost like he wanted to preview it before he really did it. Which was really interesting to me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think about like how he likes to learn and like this idea of like, can I get a gist of it before I actually try it? I was just wondering, like, does that resonate with you, or do you like to just jump in cold and try things out? What do you think?
No, I think for me, I would much rather do it Mason's way. I think, like you see that in how many open gyms he went to before he actually started volleyball. So he hadn't played volleyball before, and before it became, a matter of tryouts or any of that stuff, he went to open gyms, got familiar with people, got familiar with volleyball, like learned volleyball. So I think that he definitely does that in other things as well. And I think I would much rather prefer to do that. Like if I can get a preview of something, I'm much more a visual learner. I think I would much rather sit and watch other people do it. Like if we were having a contest, if there's 5 people and you're having a contest, to do something that nobody had ever done before, I would rather go 5th. I would rather be number 5 and see everybody else do it, watch the way they do it, watch where they stumble, and learn from all of that, and then do it myself. And even if I don't win, it at least feels like I could do it better than if I tried it cold, especially if there's anything on the line, like not like money or anything, but if there's like, you could win this contest or you might be number 2 or whatever. Like I would much rather give myself a little bit of warning ahead of time.
How about like samples of work? What do you feel about those? Like, do you like having an example of something before you have to do it yourself?
I do.
Huh.
Like if you if you tell me that you want me to build a draft or an executive presentation, especially in new environments, like in this job that I'm in now, I don't know all of the ins and outs that people put into their presentations. So I would much rather you give me an example, because in the past what's happened is I might do something that I know that I think looks good or, organizes things the right way. And if you have an idea in your mind of what you want that to be, then all I'm going to keep doing is bumping up against your idea without you just telling me what your idea is. Or here's the example that we use. This is the typical format. So you don't even have to think about that. You just have to think about your content side of it. I don't want to feel like I'm continuously being turned away or being wrong. So I'd much rather have the example of the work, and then I can go from there.
It's really interesting. So I really hesitate on giving samples of work to my students because I don't want to limit them. I don't want them to see something and be like, oh, I have to replicate this, because I want their voice and choice to be a part of it and to like wow me in a different way.
That's interesting, because I think back to when I took English 102, we were provided with all kinds of example portfolios, because in English 102, you have to build a portfolio, right? Like a portfolio of your writing and all of the different things. And we were provided with examples. And I think that I don't want to brag too much, but the feedback I got from the professor in that class was the best feedback I've ever received. And she was wowed by what I turned in. But what I turned in was based on what I had seen in other work in the example portfolios, but I believe it was still my voice, it was still my writing, it was still all me. It was just all I did was use like the shell. Like you have to have like an intro page or an overview page, and then you have to do it this way and you have to do it that way. But I'm confident enough in what I bring to the table and in my skills that I don't feel like I have to replicate the exact tone or the words or any of that. I can still make it my own, but I can make it my own within the framework that you feel makes a student successful.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It has me really rethinking kind of how I'm presenting these final projects, because in this latest version, I got so much great work that I'm thinking, and I actually said to like easily 10 students, hey, can I use yours as an example? And they were so honored in that piece of it. But then also, like, if I have maybe a portfolio of like 25, then I feel better that it's not just one way, that
Yeah.
there's this like breadth of ways that it could happen. Somebody might look at that, somebody like me, and go, oh, I can do it my own way.
Mhm.
Or somebody like you might look at it and go, okay, I want to do it like this. And there's one that's kind of like that. So I'm going to go forward with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. It's not saying there's this one example of what right looks like, but here's 20
Right.
examples. And if you can find 20 extremely different examples of
Yeah.
that work, then to your point, it gives everybody a really broad range to choose from.
Yeah, and they did such
That
good
makes
work, and
sense.
that's the piece. I don't wanna, like, limit them, but I
Hmm.
also I got yelled at by a student this semester who thought I wasn't clear enough with what I was asking for them to do, and I really take that feedback to heart of, like, well, how can I do it better? Interestingly enough, we were having this conversation earlier of how we think people learn,
Hmm.
and I believe anybody can learn anything. It's the teaching that's the bridge to the knowledge. My mom thinks that there are certain things certain people can't learn.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's true. I think if you have the right teacher, you can learn anything. People will probably
Interesting.
disagree with me and come at me. I'm good with that. Her example was non-Euclidean geometry. So I also think that there's an element of give a fuck. Like, do I want to learn that or do I not? And that
I
is not
think, but I think that's I mean, you're the education professional, not me, but I think that's a big piece of it. I think that motivation, you can't discount
yeah.
motivation. So to your point, yes, maybe everybody can learn everything given the right kind of teacher. However, if you're not at all interested in it, you're not motivated to learn it, then you could be the best teacher in the world. And I still, to your point, to use your phrase, don't give a fuck. And so there's nothing in it for me. There's no reward, and I'm not going to pay attention to it. So you're trying your best, and I'm just not there for it.
Right. And I think that that's the piece with some of these students who need the really concrete example, or some of
Hmm.
them who are struggling with, do I want to be a teacher or not? Do I even understand what this looks like? And so I
Hmm.
need more scaffolding than not.
Yeah.
So I can do that. I can make that change.
Look at you growing.
I know. Did you hear about the giant problem in higher ed this week?
We not. I'm not in that part of the internet.
Uh, So Canvas got hacked
I did see that.
for ransom
Mm.
and nobody paid it. I mean, I don't think. I mean, my college did not, but we were shut out of everything during finals. I had, I think, 6 students left that had work to finish. Everything else, I had all my grades posted before I went out of town. But some people are in the middle of giving finals and finals on Canvas. And so it has just been a nightmare. I've been really pleased with how our provost has come at it and said, here's your parameters, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do what's right for students. So that's felt really good.
That's good.
Freaking nightmare though. Like
Wow. I
maybe
can
we
only
need to
imagine.
own our own program and have some redundancies.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, and it didn't just impact, obviously, universities, it impacted high schools. Because we got
For
the
sure.
message about Desert Vista High School, where Mason
Right.
goes.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were like, it was kind of this pay the ransom or we will go public with all of your records. And my initial thought, this is not the best professor thought, but I'm also a student. So it was my first student thought. Come at me. I have got all A's. Publish that shit. Like, let's go. I only
I
have one
dare ya.
grade. I know. I only have one grade from this semester posted, and I did get another A, and I'm sure my other grade will be posted soon. And I'm pretty sure that I will keep my 4.0 in my doctoral program and move on from there. I don't think they give lower grades than A's to doctoral candidates, but whatever.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. You still earned it.
Yeah, that's right. It's all good. Okay, so here's my next question for you.
Yeah.
Think about time that you have spent with your parents. When was the last time you spent more than 2 days with your parents?
That's an easier one for me because I was up there for, a week to help them with Paul's house and closing down and the garage sale and all of that. So, I was with them for a week, just over a week, I think it was. But before that, it had been forever-ish.
Yeah, I know. I am spending 5 weeks with my mom. And I think the last time I spent 5 weeks with my mom was the summer I was 21. And it wasn't like I spent all day with her every day. She worked, I worked, right? So this is 5 weeks every day, all day. Like, I don't think that has ever happened.
Well, I think that was going to be my answer too. Like, I think the last time that I'd spent that much time with my parents was probably when I lived at home. So how old was I? 18, maybe?
Yeah, I know. So I guess what I'm coming to you with is this is a lot for me. She talks about things I don't talk about. She's interested in things I'm not interested in. She lives alone. I live with you and Mason. She has her routines. I have my routines. So what conversations should I have with her over the course of the next month to not drive myself crazy and for it to be interesting and engaging? What would you, if you were spending a month with your parents, what would you want to talk about?
I think that question depends to a large extent on how comfortable you are in your family or what your norms are in the family for addressing things that may not necessarily be comfortable for everybody. So for you, I think you have many fewer boundaries, if any, in discussing some of the hard stuff with your mom. And by hard stuff, I mean like making your position known, making your needs, you're known to your family. Whereas I think in my family, it's not such a natural thing, and we would struggle to have, I think, those conversations. So I think that it would be more difficult. However, if I was in a position to do that, or if you're asking me for advice, I would say, I think it's the boundaries. I think because I think there's something to be said about being in a different environment with a different person. And each of you is trying to figure out how your routines fit into those environments. And I think that there needs to be some overt conversation about it, because otherwise it's just a matter of like, you brought it up earlier. Like, what do you do when you wake up? You and I don't wake up fast. Like, yes, we could wake up quick and get out the door, but our preference is not that at all, as evidenced by how we wake up on the weekends, which is you wake up, you push the button on the coffee, you get your cup of coffee, and then you might go back to bed and sit in bed for a minute or two, or sit on the couch. And there's been plenty of times where you and I have been sitting here, you're in the chair, I'm on the couch, and we don't talk, and we just sit with our cups of coffee. Like, we're slow waker-uppers. Your mom is not. That's one of those boundary things. Like, what could your mom do differently so she still respects your boundary, but still lives with her own way of wanting to do things, which is, she gets up fast and she's ready to go. Great. Go explore the lobby. Go explore the shops. Go make a list of the places that you want to go. Like, here's all of the different things that you could do to meet your own needs and still allow me to have my way of doing things. Like, I think that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I also think like we're going to be in the car for a lot of hours doing really long drives. So it's about routines and that type of thing. But it's also just like this, right? Like asking those questions that feel authentic and not just like pull a question to like ask a question, but like to be interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
and do it in a way that feels safe to both parties. Because, like, for me, driving in a car is really kind of like the best way to have a conversation because you're next to somebody and you're not having to like look at their eyes, right? Like, that's how it's always worked for us with the boys. And so I think there's a potential there where it could be deep conversations because you're not looking at each other. But I
Mm-hmm.
also think there's this piece of where she feels like I'm judging her way of thinking rather than just having a conversation,
Yeah. I think the other
right?
danger, yeah, I would agree. I think the other danger with a car, though, is I think you felt this before, is being trapped.
Oh,
Being trapped in the conversation and not being able to just physically distance yourself from that person and say, I need to take a break. I'm going to go in the other room. There is no other room in a car. So it's a hard place to have tough conversations if you feel like you might need to get away. Just
I
saying.
love that's great. And I'm not that's super good advice. I am not looking for like tough conversations. I'm looking for like rich conversations, right? Because
I don't think
I
anybody's
think
ever looking for a tough conversation. I think sometimes they just happen. So there's a fine line between rich and tough.
fair enough.
And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, like, cut it off
Yeah.
earlier than
Yeah. I
when
also
you
think
feel like you
she
might be backed into a corner.
yeah, for sure. But I also think that she doesn't think like I think of like the what ifs and the like bigger picture and
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, if you had never done this job, what job would you have had? Like, she wouldn't have that. I don't
I
think.
think that's so interesting.
So,
Maybe there's really strong feelings about that, but I love that exploration
I
because I
know.
think it's interesting to imagine an alternate reality, and it doesn't have to be an unhealthy imagining of like I don't like the
Right.
one I live in, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Like in an alternate universe, I'm an architect or I am a XYZ, and I don't think it has to be a negative on your current situation where I don't know that she would do that because I feel like she would not want to look at her current situation in a negative light.
Right. Because she can't even, anytime I talk about my brothers, I think she thinks I'm judging them too, versus like just
Hmm.
playing with the reality of like the what ifs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what if everybody lived closer? What if you didn't have to drive 23 hours to get to somebody's house? Like, what would you rather have? Like, I don't know. I just think
Mm-hmm.
those questions are interesting. And I think that she balks at them. So I'll try
Yeah.
them. But what's another category of questions that I could ask that aren't as maybe judgy?
I mean, I think anything focused on her is probably perceived as being less judgy because I think she definitely feels like your questions about your brothers would be judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you keep it focused on her, like, again, what would that alternate reality look like for you? Or, I don't know, what did you want to be when you were growing up? Or some of those explorations of her as a person versus dynamics and like, what would it look like if we all lived closer? That's now I have to make a really big leap to say, I don't know, but here's what I think it would look like.
Yeah. I think I came up with one question while you were saying that. I was listening. I was just coming up with another question.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
was. Like, I want to know what she thinks about when she's quilting. Like,
Hmm.
does she have a person in mind when she's making a quilt, or what she's thinking about when she's doing that? Because there's some things that she's making, like those Afghans she makes for newborn babies and the like name chart things that she makes when kids are born and the baby quilts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are definitely for certain people. But I'm
Yep.
interested to know, when she like goes into a quilt shop, does she have a person in mind? Does she have somebody in mind when she picks that fabric out or whatever? And then does she think about them when she's making it? Or does she think about something else?
I think that's a great question.
I also
What do
think
you
a
think
good
about when
question.
you're doing crafts?
Well, it depends, I guess. That's a great question. Ask me about a certain craft project. That would be easier. Or
There's so
I could
many.
tell you.
What do you think about when, I'm going to go throw it back a little bit because you haven't made these in quite a while. And I have a lot of extra wood sitting in the garage that you could use for the squares that you used to do with the fabric that you put on the square and then the heart that had a message inside the heart or
Yeah.
sometimes didn't have a message. Like those are some of my favorites.
Those were really a COVID thing. And I was mostly on meetings with other principals or teachers when I was making those. So many meetings. And it was just my hope for what the world could hold, like love and thriving and connection and all of that. And so it was just creating pretty representations of those things.
That's an interesting answer. And I think that we need those now more than ever. So I get that it was a COVID thing, but maybe you want to resurrect those and bring them back.
I know. Well,
See
I
if
just
maybe
have,
you can change the world.
I know. I have some inventory that I need to like offload to give my space some space. Yeah. So
You do have an
but
inventory problem.
I do, because I haven't been doing any shows or anything like that. Because originally I was going to do 50 pieces of art for my 50th birthday, but then COVID. So maybe I do 60 pieces of art for my 60th birthday, but that's 5 years from now. And I really don't want to hold the inventory that long. So maybe it'll be 56. Yay.
It doesn't have to be a milestone. It could be, it could be 56, could be 57. Yeah.
It could just be a freaking art show, right? And
It
like,
could
here's
also be that,
everything.
yeah.
Like, please take it because I can't house it anymore.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to that's the things I think about. And my mom and I are so different that I imagine that her answer is very different. And it isn't judgy. Like, I know there have been people in my life who think that I'm judgy. And it is so far from like how I intend to go into the world that it's really off-putting to me when people think that about me. And so then maybe I pause and don't ask those questions because I don't want people to think I'm judging when really I'm just trying to find out information.
Yeah, I think about situations where clarity could be so beneficial. And I think one of those, the way to gain clarity, I think in a situation like that is just to be totally upfront with your mom and be completely, transparent of, I just want to talk. And I feel like I need to get to this. I feel like I need to use this time in a certain way. I don't want it to just be surface conversations. I want to have deeper conversations with you. I want to get to know some of the deeper things about you. I mean, I think maybe with that context, she is less feeling or less inclined to feel like it's judgmental.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's really good. And still makes me nervous. So what if I like pull all of you into my mastermind? I say to the group chat each day, here's the question I want to ask Grandma for today. And you each either rephrase it or give me an add-on. And then I can say, this is coming from all of us.
You had me up until this is coming from all of us.
Fuck off.
Nope, I won't. I think that it's completely legit to say, how does this sound? How does it come across? But it's you, baby.
You're rude.
Nope, I'm not.
Fine.
If you're a 5-year-old, you'd be calling me mean right now. You're mean.
Like,
Nope,
poopy, ugly
not.
face.
Wait a minute. Didn't need to escalate. Jeez, man.
It's just hard. I think that's the thing, right? Like, I think that relationships with parents are complicated. And one of the things that we work really hard on is to uncomplicate the relationship with our kids. And how do we have everyday and hard conversations with them all the time so that it becomes natural and normal?
Yeah, I completely agree because, like I've already said, like I think my family isn't necessarily given to some of those conversations. It wasn't always a thing for us. I think that there's a lot that I think goes unsaid in our family in some ways, and I don't like that. It may not be comfortable, but it doesn't always have to be comfortable because some things in life just aren't comfortable and you can't make them comfortable. So I think having the opportunity to get into some of those conversations, and we've done that with the boys, like this might not be comfortable, but you can't avoid it or you shouldn't avoid it. I think that's important. And I hope that we've done a good job modeling that. And obviously we still, knock on wood, have time to do that. But like that's,
Right.
I think, a big part of our family is making sure that we do have those deeper conversations. Like we can still have the stupid surface level, type of conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's key.
It is. Okay. So when you get a
Still get
hold
in
of
the car and do it.
parents to wish your mom a happy Mother's Day, what are you going to ask her?
I'll need to think on that one for a minute.
No, you don't. You have to pick.
I don't
We gotta
know. Help
Okay,
me.
what are you interested in knowing? Because then we can do this together, right? This is teamwork. Like we're each going to go into the next conversation with something that we can ask that feels authentic and is something that is interesting to know about. So maybe it is about Mother's Day. Like, what did Mother's Day look like when you were a kid?
Interesting. I like that.
Because, I mean, they're so freaking old. No, wait, not yours, mine. Like, maybe it didn't even really exist. Like, maybe it's an invention from our childhood.
Maybe Hallmark started
Right?
it back in the 70s.
Yeah, who knows? Today at our lunch, we were at the Sci-Fi Drive-In lunch experience, and we're in little like 55 Chevys eating our lunch in like rows. It's really cute. But they were playing old 1950s sci-fi movie clips up on the screen. I got those really bad movie making. So to think about how far movies have come since the 50s is remarkable. I mean, good 75 years. I wonder about that, right? Like Depression era, did they have Mother's Day or did that come later? Is that like a 1950s, 1960s kind of like created experience? That's what I'm going to start
That'll
with. And I think you should
be a
too.
good research project. Let's do it.
Fabulous. The other thing Mason and I have been working on with my mother is when she asks, I wonder questions like you do, or like you have the whole internet right here.
Right at your fingertips.
You could ask it. And so her comment today was, if you know the answer, I don't know why you wouldn't just give it to me. Why are you making me look it up? And I was like, I don't know the answer. Like, I would have to Google it. Like, you can Google it. So
Yeah. The only time I get away with I wonder is when I'm in the car and I can't physically Google it. Otherwise,
Right.
you're pretty good about like pointing me back to the interwebs.
Yeah.
Because I wonder a lot.
I know. And wondering is good. It's like, but do you wonder enough? Does it matter to you enough to go find out the answer? Or are you just like wondering to wonder?
Sometimes it's literally just I don't know what they would call that. Like what literary device is that? A postulation? It's just I wonder. This thought literally just came into my head. I wonder about something, but I also don't wonder enough to get up and go grab my phone and Google that shit.
Fair enough. All right, honey, I'm going to sign off because I have these bug bites on my ear and on my arm that I have to put bug juice on.
Ugh.
I have to probably shower again because it's so humid that like I showered this morning and my hair is like still hasn't dried.
Gross.
It's just gross here.
Well, I hope you survive the last remaining. You're down to hours at this point of your trip in Orlando. Safe travels up to Savannah. I can't wait to hear how it goes with the college visit.
Yeah.
Keep me informed.
I will make sure to pick up our kid on Tuesday. He made a haircut appointment for when he gets back in town.
I think he was supposed to be working on Pierce for that. So check with him, please. And
okay. So Pierce is picking him up. Well, he's also going straight to a haircut because I think he too felt the like oppressiveness of the humidity. And he's like, I need a haircut. So
it was too much.
Thank God for the dry heat of Arizona.
Indeed.
So I hope this worked. If it didn't, well, then like just know that we'll have better audio next time.
It was still a great time to connect.
Yeah. I love you.
Love you. Safe travels.
Okay. Bye, Annie.
Bye.